On Daybreak, we have the Team Liquid player starting to the top right in red. We have our Protoss and his ideas.
Liquid Hero.
Part of a team which website is the most popular foreign website for StarCraft news ever. His opponent, the team Ungjin Stars, a lot of products here in Korea. His ID is
Ungjin Stars, Soulkey.
Soulkey feels like a very calculated player to me when I see his movements and his counterattacks.
And seeing both players in the booth, I have to say that Hero is definitely winning the starting contest.
Yeah,
but on the other hand,
he's definitely he's trying a little bit more than some of the other people out there. I'm proud of you for noticing.
Thank you so much. No, but here, of course, it's about who is going to be the better player, at least today. The thing is that Hero was able to take down one Zerg in this tournament, and it was effort with the 2-0 winner in this tournament. Was able to best his opponent, so another Casper player who later on went to defeat Gumiho. Right now we're on a Daybreak. Normal pool timing here, of course, for Soulkey. Standard transition into an expansion, whereas Hero now has to make the choice. Starting with the Forge first, or with this Nexus.
Yeah. Now, Soulkey is probably going to be taking a fast third here. This is something that Hero is, of course, going to want to keep his probe alive to scout for. He very adamantly knows that this block is going to occur and sends his drone to the third base prematurely even. Well, I use a premature term, actually, not absolutely correctly. What I mean to say is that without even trying to fight it big time, he's just going to send that over there. And this is something that Hero is going to have to go and check for. You saw the second drone, so it's pretty predictable. He goes right now to verify.
Soulkey has the scouting information that he needs, but so does Hero. He knows about the third base and is now moving just back into the natural because he wants to know when exactly the Zerg is placing down another hatch, or if he's going to do so, but so far it looks like we don't see any kind of shenanigans out of Soulkey. And Hero now, with the Forge nearly completed and the Gateway on its way, he has to make the choice what he wants to do. A 3-base Zerg player is what you will expect on Daybreak, and Hero, well, he really loves his Blink player, of course, especially in PvP. What is he going to do in the matchup against Zerg now?
That's the question that's on everyone's mind. He goes Gate before Cannon, by the way, which is pretty safe, but not always what you see from Protoss players, which means his tech will be a little bit faster. His Warp Gate research, for example, his first sentry. And this can actually become very important in this matchup. Not against the build that Soulkey is going for, but it is really going to, you know, these little things add up.
If you take all the matches that Hero so far played in big tournaments into account, then this is actually his strongest matchup. By just a few games won, 67% win ratio. And now, of course, the third base here being built for Soulkey. So everything that we expected, and now the question is Hero going to commit to his 2-base timing attack? Which was for quite a long time the standard. That was the only thing, and the only question at everyone's mind was what kind of 2-base timing attack is going to hit. These days, though, a lot of Protoss players are a lot more confident in taking the third base and trying to go for the longer game. But still, the Zerg has to prepare for eventualities.
Yeah, and this is why it's really hard to be a Zerg right now, because, especially against Protoss, is because it's not as if the Protoss is overpowered, but the decision-making the Zerg player has to choose right now has to be a catch-all, because there's so many different things a Protoss player can do. At this moment, I think in this matchup specifically, this is the moment where a player has to guess or hope. You know, if he's going to go for one strategy that's risky, this is kind of the riskiest situation for a Zerg, because I can't think of any other matchup where there's a moment where you're thinking about what your opponent can do, where you have so many different branches and so many different options.
The Overlord now, of course, with the knowledge about the +1 attack timing, so at this point Soulkey is aware that here comes an upgrade that will especially affect his Zerglings in this matchup in the early stage of the game, because of course the Zealot can, with a +1 attack, 2-hit a Zergling instead of using 3 hits. That's something that he already knows. No transition into Roach 1 just yet. That will happen in just a few seconds, most likely. And we see the Evolution Chamber, but first of all, of course, the Roach 1.
And the Overlord is in position to go and scout that row, but he has not done so yet. This is a little bit stressful. Okay, now he's sending it in, and he will see the robotics. This is great information for Soulkey to have, of course.
Robotics tech detecting is very important here, and there's the Roach 1 for Soulkey. The Overlord, of course, not going to hang around. He's going to be killed. And Hero is now supply blocked, actually. He needs to wait for those 2 pylons. build them, doesn't lose too much time here. But now additional gateways. And it certainly looks, I mean, at this point, Hero could do a couple of things. He's adding a lot of gateways, there's a lot of firepower available to him. And it certainly looks like he's more tending to take a third base at this point.
Yeah. It's starting to seem what it's going to be. I wonder if Soulkey is going to go for unusual tech. Well, this is actually a huge win.
That is
the Zealot and the Stalker. Well, Stalker barely escapes.
Okay, he's lucky.
That is the luckiest Stalker ever.
He must have been a good boy. Breaking out of this is like having Christmas, birthday, and one day.
Warp Prism coming through here. He's got 3 sentries, and he could go for the 4 sentry drop if he wants to.
He moves to the probe now down to the third, so he's definitely taking this third base that we talked about. The Warp Prism has a nice touch bit. He can occupy his opponent. And the main question is, of course, how exactly he's going to use it. If he's trying to use it in the main base or just trying to hit the natural and the economy. And here's the macro hatch now for Soulkey. He completed his layer attack, so what is he going to do? What kind of transition is he aiming for? Is he playing it standard, or are we going to see a couple of mutalisks on this map? Which would actually kind of surprise me here at this point.
Yeah, that would surprise me quite a bit as well. That's what I was getting into with that question I was getting into before we had the Stalker trap suddenly is, will he go for something, you know, like the other Kessel players have been really favoring meters, not on this map specifically, but on a lot of other 2-player maps. Obviously he's not. He's getting roach speed, he's getting burrow and +1 for roaches, but that was an interesting question. Now the Infestation Pit is actually going to be spotted by this drop, which is really crucial, because this drop may not be able to do very much damage, but at the very least, when he sees that Infestation Pit, he's going to have so much information. Will he go for the Force Seal and the drones? We've seen a lot of players skip that, and oh wow, he's totally messing this up.
He's losing too much time. One of the things is that Soulkey has not the best Overlord spread on this map. He could have used the Overlord on over the Abyss in order to make sure that he spots this a little bit earlier. Also at the top left, we don't see any of them. So the Warp Prism is not doing a lot for Hero here, but at least he keeps Soulkey occupied.
Actually, this is not a sentry drop. This was a drop full of Zealots. My mistake for misspeaking earlier. And I think that's why he may have hesitated, because he knew that wasn't really going to be able to trap any drones. He's just trying to have the threat here, and I like that. And again, he spotted the Infestation Pit. That's really important information for him to have right now.
The Twilight Council is now about to finish, and the Observer has had another quick look into the main base, saw everything that was going on there. So Hero and Soulkey both with a lot of scouting information. They know about the tech. And one of the things that I really like about Soulkey at this point is that he has a decent creep split against Protoss, something that a lot of Protoss Zerg players don't do against Protoss, which is like really odd. It's so important still. Of course you have to deal with the observers, and most Protoss players will have an observer, therefore it's easier for them to kill the tumors. They don't have to sacrifice scans like a Terran has to do, but still spreading creep here, especially at the third, is a very important thing.
Yeah. Now, the question becomes now, well, actually, he's getting a second forge. This is something that is really, really popular right now.
Contaminate, nice.
Yeah, man, Soulkey has been, he's been listening to my commentary.
He's been reading Team Liquid.
Yeah, man, everyone's talking about this, people not using that Contaminate skill. Like, is it viable? You see the Templar archives coming down, and, you know, this is an uncomfortable position for Hero, because he knows about the investors, but there's not a lot he can do right now, and he knows that Soulkey likely is going to be mining from a 4th base. This is a tough moment for the Protoss where he has to kind of turtle for a minute and then go out with a big attack.
That's the count of 71 to 77, and, well, at this point now, Hero just with the 3 bases that he has, and especially, of course, the gas. He's getting another attack. He's going for the Templar Archive, therefore for Storm. This is a lot of firepower. He's completely skipping the Robotics Bay at this point, not going for any kind of Stalker play, but just the composition that he has when he has the Archons in the picture, Templars with energy, that's really, really scary. Soulkey, on the other hand, looks like he really wants to start an attack now.
Yeah, he really wants to assassinate the investors, but again, I mean, the Warp Prism has been a great scout for Hero right now, not really able to do any harassment, but he spotted the move out. Spire going down here, of course, for the potential Colossi, and for the Greater Spire transition once his Hive finishes. But Storm is not ready. He can use feedbacks on these investors, but this is an uncomfortable position for Hero right now. He's really on the defensive while his opponent is taking another base to the top left. He's already mining gas in the center of the map.
But it's still, this is something that Soulkey should really be very cautious about approaching. Attacking into these points against force fields is not something he can do. And now when Storm is also done, then he is definitely out of luck. So, I don't know, Soulkey pressuring him here is fine, but Hero has the scouting information. He drops with the Warp Prism the Zealot, so the cancel will be forced. And now at the bottom of the ramp, this is something that I would have expected that Hero sees a little bit sooner. He doesn't, but now Storm is ready.
Yeah, Storm is ready, but will he be able to hit those storms? That is the question, as he's actually stuck here a little bit. And so much damage already done. The Infested Terrans still firing. He storms those. But, I mean, that's the Storm Energy used not on Roaches, which continue to fight and take out Zealots here, a good trade. And he actually shuts down the Harassment in the top left as well. At least for now, more Zealots warping in there. And I think he actually may have to cancel this because Fungals are not going to be enough to stop this off.
And now he's forcing me out at the third, and this is actually, for Hero, he did not lose his space, which is really important. Those Storms were spot on, kill the Infested Terrans, so the most important thing for Hero is still on 3 bases. The Harvester count at this point is 70 to 77. He didn't lose a single gold, if I'm not mistaken.
And it's time to make the Fleet Beacon, it's time to make the Gritter Spire. Both of these players are about to do both of those things. And Hero has killed the base to the top left. That's really important. It wasn't even canceled. There's the Fleet Beacon on the production tab. And like you said, it's really important that Hero keeps his third base alive. Didn't lose very many probes there. The worker count basically dead even. He's going to catch these Roaches as well. Nice catch.
Nice burrow.
Yeah, nice burrow as well, yeah.
Now he has to wait until an Observer is here, but he doesn't really have the time because Soulkey is on the move. And he might just hammer Hero here.
He's going to try to. The Templar are not using these storms. There they are. But, I mean, that's against Roaches.
And this army is going to fall.
Yeah.
This is so bad for Hero. Look at how much gas is actually in this composition. He has Immortals that he loses, and he has the Sentries. This is so bad for Hero. It's really bad. I mean, this is so tough. Losing the Sentries like this, losing the High Templars and the Immortals, this is atrocious.
I don't know if Hero is going to be able to recover here. He's going to lose these units in the Warp Prism. He goes for a feedback, doesn't get storms off. He's going to lose the Warp Prism as well. Yeah, Soulkey doesn't have a 5th base, but he's mining his minerals now here. And Hero is starting to run out of resource. You can see he's very desperate to get the gas out. He's struggling a little bit to make these Templar.
And this is a huge problem that he has, especially after, we just mentioned it, this army that he lost, this was basically not about the minerals, this is just about gas, and it's also so much time, especially in the robotics.
And he needs a mothership, something he's not going to be able to afford without gas. As the Broodlord transition is underway here, a good storm so far, and the Fungals actually did not connect.
Now, on the other hand, we have so many units now coming in for Soulkey, who transitions into another attack into Broodlords, plus 2 attack upgrades have been started, Adrenal Glands as well. Hero is being pushed back. Soulkey so far not taking a 5th base, but he might be able to take down the 4th of Hero.
Yeah, he's just dropping more Infested Terrans. He's going to target down more probes here, and Hero's just pushed back time and time again. I think he may actually find himself out of steam. He's fighting Infested Terrans with Immortals. He's actually going to lose an Immortal to Infested Terrans.
The Immortal is dead, and wow, Soulkey is now looking good. Hero just trying to catch these Roaches earlier, then the Roaches were already stuck around, and Soulkey used this to kill the entire army of Hero, at least the most important part of it, the most expensive part of it. And now, of course, with the Mothership on the way, he might have something to use an Arcan Toilet to turn things around, but with 80 supply ahead, Soulkey is just in such a dominant position here, especially, look at this count on Infestors, he has 20.
Yeah, he's got so many Lings out as well, 70 in total to be great support for these units. They can eat storms, and this forces more and more gas out of Hero to make those High Templar. Dropping Infested Terrans to tank, maybe some storms also to get in front here, while the rest of the Infested Terrans and Roaches at the back can go for the Nexus. Storm does go down, but Hero is running out of steam, and he's running out fast.
Yeah, indeed he does. He loses too much. Yeah, the Infestors are still alive. If he's able to take them down, then maybe, but how? He can't blink in, not against all these Infested Terrans, and now they're even burrowed and move away. The 4th, it dies. Hero is in such a tough spot. I don't even think there's a way to recover.
Yeah, I think you're right. 2 more Broodlords on the way, 42 Lings. It's going to be at a total of 5 Broodlords. The Mothership is going to be out here for Hero, but he's going to need more than a Mothership to get himself back into this. He's also going to need a 4th Nexus. Can't have both very easily, as Soulkey's not going to allow him.
So something Soulkey is not going to do, and now the army supply is 112 against 58. which basically tells the tale here.
I think one way to look at how ahead Soulkey is that he's doing all of this with this type of composition without making spine crawlers. That just shows basically Hero can't move out at all, like not for a second. He's got like 2 spines in the middle of the map. No spines at the top left either though, which means these Zealots could potentially kill this hatchery.
We talked how strong Soulkey looked in the matches against Gumiho and also against Poker, and now he proves it once again. He's one of the best Casper players that we currently have in StarCraft 2. And here come the Zerglings, making sure that this hatch is not going to die. It's a close call, but in the end it survives.
77 hit points, lucky 7s.
And of course this one unfortunate situation for Hero where his, half his army was caught out of position, didn't help him.
Yeah, that certainly did not. He wants to make another Nexus. Looks like he's going to try to take the one to the bottom right, a little bit less vulnerable to the army in the middle, especially because Soulkey's army with the Infestors and the Broodlords is slightly less mobile.
But now the Broodlord's on the move. And
exactly,
I mean,
they're already here.
It's like a slow punch coming his way.
Yeah.
It's like watching this in slow motion. The punch coming Hero's way and Hero trying to dodge but not able to do it.
Hero is tied down on the train tracks, man, and the train is coming.
The pain train is coming and he is approaching. Well, not fast, but...
Well, he's here, man. What you gonna do now, Hero? There's so many Broodlords coming down on his base. He's got the mothership out. He has enough energy for 1 Vortex, and he's gonna need it.
Does he have the Archons, though? He only has 1. That's not even enough for an Archon toilet.
Forcing out storms here. Good storms so far, pushing Soulkey back for a second.
The storms are really decent. Another one, and so many infested Terrans. The storms really saved Hero for a second. Bottom right, though, Zerglings trying to take down the pylon. The pylon is gone. The Zealots swapped in already. Were at least able to take the melee units apart. And Hero, he's starving here.
Yeah, he's hanging on, but not for much longer. If this continues, Soulkey now going for some harassment in the main. Knowing that there are no Void Rays out on the map, the Stalker count is a little bit limited.
On the other hand, Hero now in possession of more Archons. He has 3. He might get a few more, and then he can use an Archon toilet. Maybe, just maybe, he might be able to come back.
Consider Soulkey's bank, though, on the fact he's got 64 larvae available to him. If he kills all of these units once, he will have a small timing window, but Soulkey will be able to remax. It's not going to win him the game, but it's one small step to get him back into this, because right now he's not in it.
And of course, also a big issue is that we have Neural Parasite in just a few seconds ready for Soulkey. We know all how this is going to end. If an Infestor gets close enough to the mothership, then suddenly Hero's army will be the one being vortexed.
And Hero has the next to the bottom right uncontested right now. This is something that's really starting to add up. He's going to be able to remax. He's not going to have a bank, but he will remax, and that means that he will have a better possibility of taking that fight in the middle and then pushing through with it. That's why Soulkey's making spine crawlers right now.
It's actually a little bit weird to me that Soulkey didn't pressure this base at the bottom right a little bit more
when
he was in position at the main base of his opponent, because there were not too many units for Hero to defend it. But right now, he has suddenly all the gas that he needs to just max out again. And an army supply of a Protoss player that is maxed out is suddenly so much more dangerous. You can do... it's just really hard to stop it. One mismicroing with the unit control, and you might find yourself out of luck.
Yeah. Well, +3 is done for Roaches and Infested Terrans now. +3 Carapace finishing. More Archons, more Spines. And including Spines are the Spines up here at the top left, which Hero will not really be able to attack. He's going to try. Storms will be good, though.
Nice, and the Infested Terrans actually blocked the drones when they tried to escape.
Yeah, worker count now not as good for Soulkey as it once was. Hero actually kind of closing the gap there, 51 to 58, 85 larvae available, 85. Hero's slowly but steadily closing the gap in army supply, 130 against 116. This is resiliency at its best. This is Hero showing that he will not be killed. He's going to be patient here, and he knows exactly what decisions to make. That's actually a sign of not a good player, but a great player.
By all rights, but to be in the clear for a second, by all rights, Hero should already be dead. I mean, Soulkey had the chance to take this game, and then he decided to play more passive. He allowed the 4th base, something that was not necessary. Hero had never the army that could really contest Soulkey in a straight-up fight. It was just the position at the natural and the storms that drove the Zerg player back. If Soulkey would have gone for the 4th base, there was no way for Hero to hold it. But Soulkey decided to attack into the natural. The storms forced him back. He allowed the 4th, and now he's playing a little bit more passive, going for the macro game. And this gives Hero the chance to come back in the match.
Yeah, I mean, little things like this, like stopping these Lings from getting into his main base, can really add up. You know, this sort of map awareness that we're seeing from Hero right now is actually insane. His army right now is 3-3, no shield upgrades as I speak that. He gets +1 shields.
Yeah, you talked about his resilience and just his will to stay in this game and just fight this out. This is really something that shines through here, and this is so important for him. Hero can take this. Soulkey is still ahead in supply by 30, and he has great upgrades, of course. He already has the +3 attack upgrade for his Brood Lords on the way. He's going for armor upgrades. But Hero certainly has a lot better shot at winning this game than he had, like, let's say, 6-7 minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh wow, I think that he's trying to force his way through here with these infestors, but I think I'm just still like in shock that Hero is still holding strong here. And all it takes is one wrong engagement, and this may be too much for
one good Archon Toilet.
Yeah. Notice that Soulkey is dropping infested Terrans 1 by 1 to make sure he still holds the watchtower. It's really cool. He's gonna take out the Observer now.
11, nearly 12 Archons now. And here we go. Here comes Soulkey. 5 bases for Hero. Here comes the Mothership. Will we see the Neural Parasite? Oh, so close! Was already on its way. A few Archons. The double Vortex here. The second one maybe a bit unnecessary, not catching too many units. The first one at least catching a few Brood Lords.
He's not able to get the Archons in there. I don't even think he wants to with all the infestors there. He just wants to go for storms and close the distance here. And here's one Archon shot, but he doesn't get much more than that. And Soulkey's army still holds strong.
And here come the Templars with a storm. All the infestors are moving in. Hero dropping in supply down to 130. Soulkey knows there's not enough energy for the Protoss player to use another Vortex. The Archon Toilet is out of the picture. Transfuses with the Queens.
And Hero's going to lose this base in the center and potentially this game, as now his army has been reduced, and this time he's not going to have the mining. This time he's not going to have the comeback potential that he had last time. Look at the production tab. There's nothing on his.
Hero is looking at the rubble that was formerly his 5th base and has now to retreat. He is half, well, his supply is cut in half. He's at 111 against 200. And here comes Soulkey. And there is nothing Hero can do. He doesn't have the army composition to deal with this. He can't engage these Brood Lords with what? With 13 Stalkers? There are 18 Brood Lords and 18 Infestors.
Yeah. Yeah, the Archons are basically just delaying the inevitable against these Broodlings.
Neural Parasite, but the Infestor has been taken down. Fungal and